agreement and go from there. No, they have been scandalous from the get-go.
Well, stop. You're not on the lease. You haven't paid any rent. All right, it is 10:36. The matter of Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Andrea McWaters is due. And Attorney Casey Strong is here for the plaintiffs. And someone is here from the park. All right. We're returning to this case. Who is here from Centerville Mobile Home Park?
I am, Your Honor.
Manager, just in case we need clarification or testimony.
All right, Joshua Vela is here. I've got Motorola G. That's, I think, Brian Klein. At any rate, we had a hearing on May 31st. Tenant was served by attachment, Andrea McWaters. So I brought Andrea McWaters in from the jail, and it was the wrong Andrea McWaters. I think that was Andrea Nicole McWaters. The tenant is actually her aunt, Andrea Elizabeth McWaters. So we didn't have personal service, so we continued it. I got a phone call about 5 minutes ago from Heidi McWaters, Andrea's daughter, said her mother wouldn't be here.
And Your Honor, I can shed some light on that as well. Ms. McWaters, she is in a nursing facility at this time. She has been in the nursing facility since before we filed the non-payment of rent complaint. Her aunt has power of attorney over her, and she's indicated that they want to sign the trailer over to the park. But Heidi McWaters is still living in the property and she's not paying her lot rent. And that is why this action was brought as a non-payment of rent matter.
I'm sorry, can I say?
Well, just a minute. Let's bring Heidi McWaters in.
Hello?
Good morning. This is Judge Middleton calling for Heidi McWaters.
Yes, this is her.
All right, Miss McWaters, are you residing at 50 Randall Court, lot 50?
Yes, sir.
And this property belongs to your mother, Andrea McWaters?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the landlord wants you to pay the rent or move out. I'm advised that your mother wants to sign the trailer over to the park.
Okay.
What's your position?
I do not want the trailer. I plan on moving out. This has been, the new owners of the park have been a little bit, I call it scandalous, sneaky, whatnot. My mom moved the trailer in 30-something years ago, and they were not apparently willing to renew a lease for her with this trailer. And they were going to put us, evict us and put us in jail for being, what do you call that? Anyways, my mother owns this trailer, and they said that they sent out 4 letters. One is, we'll trade you $1,000 for your house keys, and you have to move out and sign in by this whatever date that you decided. I did not get a letter for that. I mean, everything has been so wrong.
Well, let me ask this. So you're presently living there, but you're not paying any rent?
No, sir. I was living with my mother. I had to quit my job because of a diagnosis of congestive heart failure. And me and my mom, she was helping take care of me, whatnot. I was helping take care of her. Then she, 5 weeks after I got my diagnosis and had to quit my job, she had that stroke, or a stroke. And her wishes were to take care of this trailer and her dogs with an account that she had with one of the banks here in Centerville. It's so frustrating because that's what my mom's wishes was with the money.
Well, let me ask this. Ms. Vela, when was the rent last paid on this lot? And
The power of attorney for Andrea McWaters, which is her sister Rose, signed over the mobile home last year in October.
And Your Honor, to answer your question, the last payment was September 1st, 2023 in the amount of $371. She's had a balance running since then. That balance is totaling $5,092.02. Court costs of $156.60 for a total of $5,248.60.
how many cents?
$5,248.60. And there should be a proposed judgment in the file as well.
I have it right here with that number on it. All right, well, Miss McWaters, your mother's power of attorney was her sister, and she signed the trailer over to the park. So your mother no longer owns it, the park owns it. And you've been living there.
I do not recall signing that trailer over.
Well, your mother didn't sign it. Your aunt signed it over as her power of attorney. And you've been living there without paying any rent for more than a year. And so they want you to move.
I totally understand that.
Okay. Is she on the lease?
No, she's not, Your Honor.
You see, when they came up here last summer and took over the park, they went around and handed out leases to every trailer to renew it with their coming in, you know, and the purchasing of this place. And they did not bring anything around here. Why at that time in June were they not willing to at least give me an application, run my information through it, and keep the trailer here, or let me come in as like a stranger off the street, you know? It's my mom's trailer. She moved it in here. So why couldn't they treat me like any, you know, the next person? Give me an application to fill out. You run my credit or whatever it is that you run to get people in here. Let us fill out a lease agreement and go from there. No, they have been scandalous from the get-go.
Well, stop. You're not on the lease. You haven't paid any rent in more than a year. And they're scandalous. You can pay this amount. Now stop.
To sign a new lease agreement like the other 50 trailers in here.
Miss McWaters?
Somebody else got a new lease agreement handed to them.
Miss McWaters,
Yes,
if you were here in the courtroom, I would find you in contempt for interrupting me. You are a tenant at sufferance. You don't have a right to stay there. Although the way they filed it, your mother is on the lease, she can pay the rent of $5,292.02 with a court cost of $156.60 for a total of $5,248. That's how much you cost the trailer park by staying there without paying any rent. Your aunt, who is your mother's power of attorney, signed the trailer over to the park.
Where is that paper? I have not seen that paper, Your Honor. I've seen every paper of I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry for interrupting you. But
all right, well, I didn't know you existed until 5 minutes before this hearing started. Last time I brought Nicole McWaters in from the jail and confused the heck out of her. And then I realized that it was your mother. This was posted by attachment. So you would have had reason to know there was a hearing, but you never came. And your mother didn't come. And now you're here, you are the tenant, you're not on the lease, but this amount of rent is due. I'm going to show it as a default because it's in Andrea's name, not yours. But you are included as to all other occupants. So I'll show a hearing as to Heidi. You were here by phone. All you had to do was walk down the street and you could have come here to the courthouse. we managed to make the connection by telephone because you called about 5 minutes before the hearing started. The bottom line is you're living there with no lease and you're not paying the rent. So someone has to pay $5,248 within 10 days or you're subject to being evicted. And I understand there's nowhere to move to, but they can't just let you keep living there without paying any rent. And apparently they don't wish to have you as a tenant. But I don't know that you ever went in and applied in your own name. You've had the benefit of living here for more than a year without paying any rent. And that's a benefit. But what this hearing is, this whole landlord tenant process really boils down to making people move when they don't want to move or pay the rent when they don't want to pay the rent. So we're going to send this to there. What facility is Andrea in?
I don't know the name of the facility. Do you know, Ms. Vela?
I do not know off the top of my head, but it is in
Heidi,
Thurber.
what facility is your mother in?
She is in the one that, Heartland. It's now like got Thomas or something like that. On Three Rivers by the Catholic school.
Okay, at Heartland and Three Rivers. I think that's Douglas Street is the street address. I don't know. I'm the bearer of bad news. And I will send this, and if you have other issues, you may go talk to the manager. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be prepared to move out within 10 days. All
Your
right.
Honor, may I say
All right.
something?
Yes. Yes.
So on several occasions, we tried to help Miss Heidi to relocate. She did come to us and say, well, her friend was going to sell her an RV camper for them to live in, and that it was going to cost her $1,000 something. So we offered cash for keys to avoid going to court and fees and stuff. We did offer her the $1,000 to surrender the property, and then she would be able to have the money to go get her RV, so that we didn't have to keep going back and forth through all of this, because she understood that she was not permitted on the property that she was squatting. So we have on several occasions offered to help her with funding to move out. But she will say yes, and then she'll go back on her word, and then she'll give us another, like a long, lengthy story about how she suffers from her heart and this and that. As she has two other men living with her brother and her boyfriend. And so we kind of exhausted every type of help that we could offer her or any type of agreement, because she's just non-compliant, and she expects her aunt, which is the power of attorney for her mother, to continue paying these bills, continue to pay the back pay, and to continue paying, like, their water pump got messed up and whatnot throughout this whole process. But she expects the power of attorney of her mom to pay for everything. And we've explained to her over and over that that's not how it works. She has to be responsible for what's going on because she's the one that's living in the home. And so she has never made an effort to make things right.
Well, I didn't realize there were two additional people in the trailer. Last week, I thought the thing was vacant. So Miss McWaters, this applies to you and all occupants in the trailer. They have to be out within 10 days or subject to being evicted. All right, we'll send you this in the mail.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Vela, if she contacts you, just send her to me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
All right, this matter is file number 24606LT. It's entitled Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation versus Ernest Ash III. Last time we had Elizabeth Abood Carroll here, and today we have the attorney of record, Sokol Plagani, on behalf of Federal Home Loan Mortgage. This is a mortgage foreclosure sale that was some months ago, September of 2023. Mr. Ash appeared last week, and he represented that somehow someone at the Fifth Third Bank had told him that the house wasn't supposed to be sold, but it was in fact sold at a mortgage sale. I advised he may wish to get some legal advice. The matter was continued until today. Ms. Plagani, what's the plan's position?
Plaintiff is seeking possession of the property, Judge. No, there's the statutory 10 days, but I can give Mr. Ash up to 30 days if he needs the additional time.
Mr. Ash, as I told you last time, if they got what they asked for, you would have 10 days from today to move. I know you've been here for 22 years, but they have the right to have possession of the property back. They're willing to give you 30 days to move. What's your position? I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. I'm not sure. Your microphone doesn't show as muted, but still can't hear you. Don't have any audio. I'll tell you what, Mr. Ash, I'm going to hang up on you and you log back in. We've had a lot of technical problems this morning. He seemed quite animated, so I think he's probably still not very happy about this, but all right, let's see if we can get him in with sound this time. All right, Mr. Ash, we were here last week. We adjourned it for 7 days. The bank is willing to give you 30 days to move rather than the statutory 10. So what's your position?
Well, I called earlier because I had a friend that is going to loan me the money to buy the house because they said if I could come up with the money, I could buy the house back. But he has to get the money out of his Edwards Jones account, and I was going to offer him more money if they can give me at least 90 days for him to get the money out of his account, and I'd pay him an extra $3,000, whatever they want for the house.
All right, well, who are you having these discussions with?
Pardon?
You're discussing buying the house. Who are you discussing that with?
I was talking to the attorney of Freddie Mac earlier this morning. The friend is loaning me the money to buy the house, but he has to have time to get the money out of his Edwards Jones account.
Okay. Well, the house has already been sold.
I know, but they said.
Sheriff's. All right. All right. Who is they? Who did you talk to?
When I first got that packet, they told me I could get, if I could come up with the money to buy the house, I could buy the house. The lady that was first on the packet that I got.
All right. Well, who? So
she
you
told
actually
me 87. She told me 87,000.
All right. Well, when was this?
Well, back in March when I first got the packet.
You never mentioned that last week.
Well, I didn't. My friend didn't tell me he was going to loan me the money until last night, so I didn't know that was an option.
It's probably not.
Yeah, Judge, I was just going to say we didn't even get this eviction referral until April 1st, so I don't know who he spoke to in March. The second thing is my client won't allow somebody to deposit funds into his account to purchase the property. If he wanted to attempt to purchase the property, Mr. Ash would have to show a continuous flow of funds in his bank account through his bank statements for 60 to 90 days. So if he just drops money into his account and says, hey, I have this money, it came from somebody else, my client won't allow a repurchase.
For fear that they won't be able to continue to make the payments.
He's going to purchase it himself.
Yeah, my client won't do that. So if he wants to purchase the property has to be vacant and it will be placed on the open market and he can make an offer at that time.
That's what I was told when I first talked to the lady. They said if I wanted to buy the house back, it was 87,000 or get out.
Well, get out is what it is. The question is, do you wish to go out in 10 days or do you wish to take their offer to go out in 30 days?
Guess it has to be 30 days, I guess.
All right, your friend can purchase the house once it's listed for sale. But Mr. Ash, that's not a very good defense. You didn't tell me last week anything about it. You talked to some unnamed lady at some unnamed time who told you you could purchase the house back. In the meantime, this lawsuit was filed and the property was sold at a sheriff's sale last September. They don't have the right to come in and undo that with some backroom deal where you buy the property back. And as you just learned, you can't just get a bunch of money in there. I guess if you bought the whole house, I don't know why they wouldn't let you buy the whole house, but
that's what I'm talking about, buying a house.
Well, but you don't have you have nothing in writing. You don't have the name of the person you talked to. You don't know when it was. And you tell me this at the 11th hour and 59th minute and 59th second. You have until June 24th, July 13th, no, July 14th. That's a Monday. We'll go to July 15th to move out or be subject to being evicted. If You can continue to get legal advice. You can call the law firm that's on the pleadings and try to discuss something. But this is a long, lengthy process. The payment probably has not been made on this property in 2 years or more.
No, I've been paying.
So
I've been paying on it. They just I had money paid up till February 1st. They're just since they sold the house, they just been taking that as money that they said that they weren't going to give me my money back. They were taking kind of money that I owed from before.
who said
'Cause I
that?
paid the third bank.
So
I
Fifth Third
paid.
Bank is, they've been
I had
taking your,
Yeah, from that. That's why I was that's why I didn't realize or why it was being sold because they gave me I went through my trial, paid all 3 of my trial payments. They gave me a new payment, and I was paid up till February 1st of this year.
February of 24.
Yep,
The house was sold at the tax or the foreclosure sale in September of 23.
I know, and I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know it was sold until I got that packet, and the bank over here in Three Rivers didn't know it was sold either. Because I took it in there. I was like, they sold my house. He said, how can they do that? I said, I don't know.
Well, you certainly could benefit from some legal advice. Miss Plagani, do you have any knowledge of any of that?
I do not, Judge. I looked in our foreclosure file as well, and I do see that Mr. Ash contacted our office June 8th of 2023, asking for documentation and verification that the property was going to go to sale. It did not go to sale until September, but I don't have any information that any payments were made. I have the default as December 1st of 2022. That was the last time the payment was made. So I don't know about any payments being made post 12/1/2022 on this.
I'm sorry. I got paperwork saying they received all 3 of my trial payments. 595 July, August, and September.
Of last year?
Yes, 2023. Because I was supposed to pay July, August, and September. And then they told me not to pay in October because they were going to give me a new payment, and they gave me 262 or 662 as a new payment, and then I paid it. I was 1 month behind as of February 1st.
So July, August, September. Then did you pay October, November, December?
Yep, December was the only month but I was paying after that. I was one as of February 1st of this year. I was 1 month behind.
Well, you may have a cause of action against Fifth Third Bank. Once this matter goes, I can't tell, it's a case of the right hand not knowing what the left hand was doing, but this was Federal Home Loan Mortgage Company. I would suggest, and I suggested it before that they show no payment. Well, the Federal Home Loan Mortgage got no money since December of 22. Fifth Third Bank may have kept some of your money.
Well, I know they did. They said that, and when the guy like I said, Ron White, I work with at Fifth Third, asked if I was going to get any of my money back since then they sold the house, and then they were still collecting money, and then they said no, they were recouping money from what I owed from before.
All right, so you've been paying on your arrearage to the bank. I'm not sure the law allows for that to happen, but the bottom line is the lender didn't get any money since December of 22. I would strongly suggest that in the next 30 days you talk to an attorney. But I find by hearing that you have until July 15th to move, or you're subject to being evicted. No money damage is issued. You have until June 24th to appeal this.
How do I do that?
You file a writ of appeal with the circuit court. You need some legal help, and you need legal help for 2 years. And so you don't have any documentation, you don't have any clear dates. You talk to somebody, you've known since July of 23 they were going to do a mortgage sale. They posted your house, they did a mortgage sale in July. I don't know how you could not know it. I mean, in September, then they
Well,
filed this action.
when they put that paper up on my door, that's when I went into the bank, and that's when they put me on that trial. They put me up, then they told me that as long as I paid the 3 payments, that they would not sell my house. That's why that's why I didn't know nothing about it until I got that was sold, till I got that packing, and because I kept it was like in February when I made up one of my payments, they said to make a phone call. They said my house was under foreclosure. The guy at the bank said, "Don't worry about it," and there was still the bank payment was still in my account, so he went and paid it and gave me the receipt. And that was the last payment I made, was back in February.
I don't know. You may have a cause of action against the local bank, but this house has been foreclosed on. I would strongly advise that you get some legal advice. But we're here where we are. According to the lender, no payment has been made since December of 22. If you've been making payments, the bank was apparently keeping them for money owed there. I don't understand your defense. Well, for one thing, it's just sort of at the very last minute, you're telling me this stuff. Nothing's in writing. I don't have any documentation, and you're not under oath.
I had the documentation last time, but I can't give anybody any documentation over the phone, because the bank gave me all the paperwork that they want, the paperwork for the trial, proving that I went through the trial and stuff, but I can't hand paperwork over the phone.
Well, we're open every day from 8 to 5, regular business hours, where you can come and file anything you'd like to. You have 10 days to do that.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Ash, I wish you good luck. You're going to get this order. You got 31 days to move, or you're subject to being evicted unless there's an appeal or a stay. Ms. Plagani, you may want to follow up on that. I don't think it was a total fabrication. He may be confused, but there seemed to be a kernel of truth in there. I don't know if I can remember a case where they paid the bank in some separate deal while a foreclosure action was going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually follow up with my client since we did the foreclosure. I'll email them and see what's going on.
Well, I'm sure he had his hopes up. Some friend was allegedly gonna give him a large amount of money, but for multiple reasons. I think he did talk a little bit with Meg Bauer last time. I don't know whether it stops the foreclosure. I don't know whether he has a cause of action against his own bank. There's so much I don't know, and I'm not certain about what he was telling me. All right, anyway, I'd appreciate it if you would follow up on that.
I will, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
The next two matters are both non-payment of rent cases. Memory Lane Mobile Home Park versus David Williams, 24683, and Memory Lane Mobile Home Park versus Pablo Leal, 24684. If we can get Mr. Williams plugged in here, we can do the rights and proceed with these two cases. Once again, Mr. John Bush is appearing for his partner, John Bush.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, very good. This is Judge Middleton. Your case is next up. You and Mr. Leal are both tenants in the Memory Lane Mobile Home Park, and they filed an action for non-payment of rent. As such, you have the following legal rights. You have a right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can ask legal aid to represent you or try to get other representation. We do not have court-appointed counsel in civil cases. Our legal aid attorney is not here. I think she's on vacation. But legal aid, I gave you the number when I sent you the information regarding the case. You have the right to have the matter heard here in St. Joseph County, where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or make the demand in writing within 5 days of the court appearance using the court form MC 22 jury demand. You have to pay a $50 filing fee within that time, or request the court to grant you a waiver of the filing fee if you're unable to afford it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency. In our county, that's Community Action Agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, that's Neighborhood Inc., or a federal help for homeless veterans program if either of you are a veteran. And I sent you that information with the original packet. You do not need a judgment against you to get that help from the places listed above. The summons and complaint are sufficient, and you've already received that. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a community dispute resolution program. If both parties are interested in that program, the court can help set that up. If you're able to reach an agreement with the landlord, that means the case would be dismissed. We use a form called a conditional order of dismissal. The court must either provide you with the form or tell you where you can find it online. So let's start out first with Mr. Dave Williams. Rent is $825 per month. Howard, I didn't get one of John's breakdown sheets on this one.
We are
Chris or Howard?
getting it online at the moment, and I will have it in a couple of minutes. But I'm
All
sure,
right, well,
our client has it.
all right. Ms. Corpening, what's the current rent arrearage?
Your Honor, I show with late fees, $3,375. That includes June.
All right, court costs are 68 and 50, 12 and 75 is 192.12 plus 3375
Yes.
equals $3,567.12. Mr. Williams, what's your position?
I have not paid my rent, but I noticed on the complaint that it says my rent is $825 a month when it's actually $775. If you add the late fee to it, it is $825.
I don't know if I have a copy of the lease here in front of me.
Your
And
Honor.
Yeah, just a minute.
The total amount due on the complaint is different from the total amount due on demand for possession. So I really don't understand the numbers they got.
The demand for possession was filed in April. So we now have May and June's rent, probably April, May and June's rent added. Anyway, what caused you to stop paying the rent? Did you lose your job or something?
No, I still got, I decided to stop paying the rent because, for one, my trailer was not insurable through my insurance company. And I told them that a while ago because the back door is obstructed and there's no way to put a step at it to get it to be insurable. And they knew that since I moved in, and nothing was ever done about it. And I do have pictures.
So there is a way to stop paying your rent by putting the money in an escrow account and doing it that way. So do you contend that there are defects, which is why you stopped paying rent?
Well, yeah, the back door, from my understanding, you're supposed to have two unobstructed exits, and the back door has a utility box right behind it. So you can fully open the door, but there's no way to jump down or put a set of steps up there.
So did you put them on notice of that?
Yeah, well, I let them know about it when I tried getting insurance on it, and the insurance company told me that they would not insure it due to the fact that there was no back step.
When was that?
That would have been not too long after I moved in.
So in April, you just decided to stop paying rent, or in March?
Well, yeah, because it's also water quality around here. It's horrible and everything else. So I'm just trying to get away from the place. I just wanted to make all this known. So,
All right, well, the law requires that I adjourn this at least 7 days. So what's your intention, to move?
yeah, I'm still gonna move because I got somewhere else I can go, and I'm not really a fan of the park. So,
All right,
but I also have a few other things that I thought I should bring to attention too.
okay, what else?
I noticed that the address on all the paperwork for the office, the lot number is wrong, so I don't know if that makes their address wrong or not.
No, they get all their mail.
Okay, and on the complaint, it says I pay $825 a month when I actually pay $775 a month.
Yeah, you told me that. Let's see what the lease says. What can you tell us about that, Ms. Corpening?
Your Honor, the rent went up back in 2023, 2023 for $25. It also went up in 2024, another $25. So at this time, I'm going to get his sheet out. I apologize. At this time, he did pay that. He paid $510 for lot rent and $240 for his house payment, which was $750 and $25 for a pet. When it went up in April, he paid $535, $240, and $25 per pet, which is $800, and we have a late fee of $50.
All right. Well, it appears he's going to move, but he's not paid any. When did he last pay rent?
His last rent payment was February 22nd of 24, and it was his $800 for February.
Yeah, he's not in a very good position to talk about how bad everything is. He hasn't paid his rent in February, March, April, May, June. All right, well, whether I like it or anybody else likes it, I have to adjourn this matter for 7 days, which would take us to 10/35 next Friday, June 21. Mr. Williams, if they get what they ask for, I would give you 10 days from that day to move, which would be July 1st.
All right.
And if you didn't move by that day, you were subject to being evicted. It would also incur another month's rent. So if you can move by June 30th, that would be the optimal. But the law requires I adjourn this, so we're going to be the next Friday, June 21st at 10:35.
All right. Is there anything else you need from me?
No, that's good. So if you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. Otherwise, I'll see you next Friday at 10:35. All right, now we've got Pablo Leal, who is present. All right, Mr. Leal, we just went through this with your neighbor, and you're in the same situation. It's a non-payment of rent case. Rent is alleged to be $965 a month. You may have a carport or something more than the other place. Ms. Corpening, what's the current arrearage here?
Your Honor, he has paid in full. He has no arrearage other than the court fees.
Oh, very good. Well, let's talk about those. They are a $68 filing fee, $51.92 service, and a $75 statutory attorney fee. 68 plus 51.92 plus 75 is $194.92 in costs. Mr. Leal, are you willing to pay that? Can you pay it within 10 days?
Yes, actually, I could pay that today.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a consent. Damages are $0. Costs are $194.92. You have 10 days to pay it, but if you pay it by today, all the better. That'll be due by 6/24. Very good. This doesn't happen a lot where people just pay everything up and they get back on track. So you have 10 days to pay the costs only, $194.92. If you pay it today, Matter is resolved. All right, very good. Do you have any questions?
So you're on.
All right, I showed as a consent, damages, none. Cost $194.92. Defendant agrees to pay in 10 days, but he's probably gonna pay it today. Very good, Mr. Leal. Then your tenancy just continues as it does, starting in July 1st. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.